Hello and welcome to the Salmon Basketball Podcast, where we reel you in and play ball. I'm Jackson.
I'm Hamish.
I'm Steve.
And we're just here to talk and shoot the shit. And Steve, how have you been this week?
Well, I've been looking for a house because I think my mum's been giving me hints to move out.
How so?
Well, she says, oh yeah, you should buy your own food now. You're old enough. You need to buy your own clothes. You should start paying for stuff. So I thought, maybe it's beneficial if I move out.
Yeah, well, I think that's a bit of a leap.
That's, right.
Because maybe just like buy a round of groceries and then see how you go. Because maybe that's like even too challenging, you don't know.
Too challenging, why?
Well, I don't
Don't you think I'd be competent enough to live by myself?
Well, I mean, I think starting with groceries before moving house is a good idea. Because like, what if you get a new house and then you go out to get groceries and you just have a panic attack and you're like, oh fuck, but I've already paid this month's rent. You know, could be a disaster.
It comes down to your financial situation.
Well, my favourite hobby is actually going to the shops with my mum every Thursday.
With your mum, though?
Yeah.
Have you ever gone solo?
I can't really talk to the person at the counter. I just don't have the synergy. I just let my mum do it.
You're not meant to click with the person. You're just meant to,
I said I always have to tell my mum to tell the person that the apples are from outside and they're cheaper than the ones from inside because sometimes I overcharge.
You mean the apples on display out the front of the store?
Yeah, they got it for $2.99 and inside they're about $5.
So, are you sure they're the same type of apple? Because there are multiple types of apples.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, they just call them large apples. I think they're probably the same.
What colour are they, though?
I think they're pink ladies.
Okay.
Right.
But also, there's a difference between the ones in the bags and the ones that are, like, fresh outside. And also, sometimes they might come from different regions as well.
Depends if they paid Ethnics to pack them or not.
Exactly.
Pick them.
Yeah.
I said I can't tell the person by their name because they don't wear name tags.
Oh, that's...
What, at Foodland?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The mighty South Aussies, or are they?
So if I wanted to complain about one of their employees, I don't know how I'll do it. Or if I wanted to give them a compliment, I can't just go up to the manager and say, yeah, I had a very good customer service today.
But you can't even talk to them, so would you even do that?
Well, I'd get my mum to go up on my behalf.
Okay, and how old are you for the listeners at home?
They don't need to know the listeners.
My 20-year-old son.
My 20-year-old son can't buy groceries. My 20-year-old son can't buy groceries, but he wants to move out on his own. Here's why.
You haven't got name bags. Apples are cheaper out the front.
Is that why you can't have synergy with the people who are working the cashiers because they don't have name tags? You can't connect with them. Is that it?
Well, partly, and partly I like the self-checkouts because I don't have to talk to anyone.
The Foodland I go to, the self-serve works most of the time, but when you have to like weigh products, like they have a lot of free tubs of nuts where you weigh them yourselves. They're not pre-packaged, so they're just in a big tub. You put in a scoop and you put them in your own bag and you weigh them, and you have to look them up on the self-serve. So you weigh it and then you look up the product, and that's like really shitty because the touchscreen is fucking from 2005 Motorola smartphone, so nothing is responsive, and you always fuck it up and you have to cancel it 10 times, and then the thing freezes and the person who's like supervising comes up and she doesn't know how to use it either, and you know,
That's
you're just staring at it for 10 minutes.
99% of fuck-ups happen from people trying to weigh fucking grapes.
Yeah, basically. So
do you ever steal any grapes on your...
Actually, I saw a homeless person in the city just walk out with a packet of grapes. He just walked out and no one even cared. But I thought morally it's wrong, but I'm not going to pick on this homeless person. He's had a hard enough life.
I had a similar experience with a Korean soccer mum who had a backpack on in Foodland, and I was waiting in line, and she just kind of barged past me and walked out, and I was thinking for a second, I could play hero, stop this lady and save this store $18 or whatever she's stolen, but no one's paying me, so, you know, power to her. She has the guts to attack an independent grocery by stealing from them. Then, you know. Anyway, so back to this house hunting.
Okay.
So you want to move out, and what have you been doing?
Well, I firstly thought of living at the Uni Adelaide Library, but apparently I've got wind that someone's already tried that international student.
I think you meant you've caught wind.
You've got wind, have you?
Yeah. Except apparently the security goes around at night about 2 a.m. and if you're asleep they wake you up and kick you out.
Is that what happened to the foreign student who was sleeping there?
So either I gotta hide in the bottom floor bathroom until they lock it up and come out afterwards.
But they lock the bathrooms.
What?
Would they?
Well, they might.
I don't know.
No, they just lock the door for the floor.
Oh,
They just say everyone out by 5 o'clock.
Does that uni have prayer rooms?
Actually, they do, but it's locked. It's
I
only
know
only for Muslims.
Well, I know at TAFE say if everyone want to chuck a snooze, I just go to the prayer room.
Yeah.
And you can just, like, there's a nice mat there that's got, like, nice Middle Eastern, like, inscription on it. It's like, oh, this is perfect.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
I don't know. I thought that I could sleep during the day and be awake at night, but I don't think that's going to work.
Why do you want to do that?
So I can sleep in the library.
What the fuck?
Yeah, but wouldn't you have to go to classes as well during the day?
Most of the lectures I can watch on the computer,
Yeah.
and the
right.
tutorials aren't compulsory.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't understand. You're fucking up your body clock.
Why don't you just go to fucking one of those internet universities then if you're not even going to rock up to your classes?
Apparently, 80% of people who do those courses fail.
Oh, what, like
The internet
like
courses.
open access and
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently
pretty high.
they got a really low rate of achievement.
Because most of the people who do them are like shut in.
That's tough, though, doing it online.
Well, you don't really have
Yeah.
anyone motivating you.
Yeah, that's the
You
main
don't
thing
have
I'd
to
say.
turn up to the
Motivation.
classes. You probably get so behind that you just think, oh, I might as well quit.
Yeah.
My mum started one of those courses and she quit after about 5 weeks.
What was she doing?
Psychology?
Oh, okay.
The other thing is you need good net, because they have, like, virtual lectures online.
Yeah.
And
Well,
if
it's
you have
in
crappy
VR.
internet, it's just going to be like...
She was always 15 minutes late and she didn't want
It'd
her...
take it 15 minutes
To
to
an
put on the
online
headset. Put on the headset.
Well, my
to get
mum's-
it.
I'm running late, everyone. Don't start.
My mum's pretty bad with the computer, so she
Alright.
always took extra 15 minutes.
What operating system is she running?
Who knows? I said everyone on the screen had their faces shown, and my mum's was just black because she didn't want anyone to see her face.
I feel like this is like overkill. Like that you actually have to have like a virtual... Like they mapped a virtual lecture theatre.
No, that's literally
No.
what they do.
They got everyone's face on there so
Did
you
they?
can see them.
Yeah.
Shit.
I
I
said
remember
there
that.
was only about like 6 people doing it because
Yeah.
half of them already dropped out.
Were any of them hot?
I think most of them were about
mum was
40.
Well, you know.
Well, Kylie Minogue is 50.
Yeah, how'd she do it?
What's her secret?
Do you think she's like one of those people who just puts rice on their face? Or is she more of like a bacon grease kind of girl?
Rice on their face.
No, that's a proven technique apparently.
Is it?
Yeah, you put boiled rice, you boil it, you mix it with honey and milk, and
Oh,
then you
yeah,
let
yeah.
it cool, and you put it on your face until it goes dry, and then you peel it off, and it takes out all the dead skin cells, and I don't know.
Dermatologists hate him.
Here's one.
I used to put lemon and bicarb soda on my face
Oh my god.
for a while, but then I just gave
Why?
up. I thought it wasn't
Acne?
working. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
I haven't
yeah.
heard that one before. Lemon and bicarb.
and then you can put also honey.
Yeah.
And someone on the
Honey,
internet said toothpaste, but apparently that just burns your face.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, I've read
I-
that one as well.
Because that shit burns, man.
What actually works is, the best thing to do, I reckon, is have a really hot shower, and then it clears out all your pores, and then turn the shower to cold, and then it closes your pores.
You think so?
That's the best way.
Yeah. So, just to get things back on track, Matthew, the story you were telling before was that you're house hunting, basically. But you don't have a lot of money.
We've moved up this topic 7 times.
That's the fun of podcasting. But so you don't have a lot of money, and
So, what did you do?
So
You had some luck, didn't you? You had some success. So talk us through that.
well, I found a house at Waterfall Gully. It's got a few rooms.
Yep.
It's got a roof, and
That's good.
it's got a room that's just got 2 walls very close together, and it's a bit suspicious what it's used for.
What?
It looks
Can you go into more detail?
it
All
looks
the graffiti and cigarette butts?
It looks like a small dungeon, and the walls are about 1 meter, and there's just a big concrete pillar.
It's just a wooden concrete house with a...
No,
Steel roof.
it's a normal house.
It's not a normal house.
Are there ominous iron spikes everywhere, just like on top of archways and stuff?
But it's just got
It's a Fortnite
these
house.
2 small walls that you could just fit 2 people in there.
I can't visualize what you're describing. You're not.
All right,
You-
cut that
you've seen
bit out.
photos.
What's the catch of this beautiful vista that you found?
Well,
Why aren't you living there now?
Well, it doesn't have any windows,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
it's got a fireplace, but you might get smoke inhalation.
Yes, but is it on the market?
Well, it's abandoned.
Okay.
What I meant to ask is there like not any plaques or any like, National Trust housing or anything like that on it?
No, there's
It's just literally just an abandoned house.
there's
abandoned house,
there's
yeah.
a few names on the walls, and there's a few.
What are these names? Is one of them Red Rum? Because that's not a name, buddy. That's you'll find out anyway, I guess. if you move in.
Red Rum.
Yeah.
Is that from Mentalist?
Mentalist? No, that's Shining.
Ah.
Because it's murder backwards. It's like one of the...
There was a few abandoned flares on the ground. It looked like someone had a party in there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So if you moved in there, do you think a lot of teenagers would be coming up the hill to get pissed there, and you'd be there going, "Get out of my house"?
Well, I mean, if you did have a spare ground or whatever, you could go to Bunnings, get some like wood frame, so get some doors,
Mate,
some windows.
He's willing to move into an abandoned house to get out of his his
Like
mum's
some
basement. So I don't think he has a spare grand.
Just get like a tent, like a decent tent, like a big tent.
A tent. Where's he gonna plant that?
I don't know. There's lots of space.
Oh fuck! There are a lot of public parks have like communes full of homeless people. That's very common in our city.
I think you could just like permanently be like at a holiday park or something. You could do that for sure.
Yeah, you could be a trailer park boy.
Yeah, basically.
Would you do that? Live in a trailer park?
No, but the problem with living in a squatting house is I can't really ring up the police to say people are trying to rob me because
That's his biggest fear.
This is the future libertarians want.
what am I going to say? Oh, I'm not supposed to be here, and the people that are robbing me aren't supposed to be here.
Well,
and
okay.
we both go to jail.
No. Here's the thing. They can probably rob your possessions because it's hobo law. But they can't assault you because that would still be against the law, whether or not you're squatting.
That's a Google search right there.
Yeah. Also, the squatters' rights.
Except you have to live in the house for 10 years until you can apply to have a right for the house.
Oh, okay.
So 10 years is quite a long time.
But isn't it true if you put a pirate flag up on the top of the roof, it kind of accelerates that process?
I think
You commandeer it.
I think it would attract unwanted attention.
Hobo ethics.
Hobo ethics, okay.
See if this comes up.
Do they have like hobo lawyers as well? Like if someone shanks you in a public park, like you can't go to attorney, you go to the hobo lawyer. Like better call Trevor or something.
I don't think we should talk about homeless people in this way.
Decide your own life. Don't let another person run or rule you.
But I've always thought...
Have you got a web page there for hobo laws?
Do not allow yourself to become a stupid drunk and set a bad example for locals' treatment of other hobos.
Do you think that...
Name one.
Alright, we won't put this in the podcast, but do
Try and
you
stay clean and
think
ball up wherever possible.
homeless people would enjoy going to jail? Because they would have free meals, free accommodation, they would be looked after in all their health needs.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I remember I drew a comic strip a few years ago where it was literally, that was the punchline. It was like some guy in there and one guy's like, "What are you in for? Murder. What are you in for? Free accommodation." Well. And it's kind of true. I mean, probably right that homeless people are in such a dire, desperate situation, they might want to go to prison.
But the problem with
Especially if they're homosexuals. Okay, if you're in prison, would you rather be shanked or raped? And you survive both.
oh, well,
Are you the kind of person to drop the shit?
no. I said I don't think I would go to prison. What do you think is the most likely thing that I would end up in prison for?
Tax fraud.
I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Actually, we won't.
I don't care who the IRS
this
is.
is not
I'm not
me,
paying taxes.
But if the taxation department is listening, it's not me, but I've never done my taxes.
So did you find any other abandoned houses you wanted to squat in?
Well, I went to a abandoned mental asylum in Burnside.
Woo! Now we're talking.
Yes.
And, well, my friend gave the adjoining mental hospital, the new one, a ring. And when he was ringing him up, someone was screaming loudly in the background, saying,
Saying, I love it here.
not exactly, but my friend got pretty scared and he said, I'll never ring them up again.
He was scared of someone screaming on a phone call that... Oh, man.
No, the guy said, I gotta go, there's big trouble here. And
That's probably a gag they do. Like, they probably get a call. They get one call every 3 months, because usually if you admit someone, you just go in person. So when they get a call, they're like, okay, start screaming, we're going to do this bit, we're going to do this bit. Hello, can I help you?
I said I was a little bit scared that they would think that I was one of them when I turned up to the abandoned one, because my haircut that
I wouldn't blame him.
The haircut that you gave me, Hamish.
That looked fucking sick, and you shaved it off. Fuck.
It looks like I got just bald patches.
Yeah, after last
with
podcast,
a little bit of hair.
After last podcast, Hamish shaved Steve.
Yeah,
like
for
a
promotion,
dog.
For promotion of the podcast, we gave Matsy a haircut. It was sort of, what would you call it? Short back and sides, but...
With bald patches.
British man, yeah, fuck you, man.
Yeah, a British chav haircut.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
So I went to the Z ward and they had big locks on the gate and I couldn't get in. I was
Well, usually it's meant to be the other way around, that you can't get out. So do you think we should call up and complain about that? I know I will.
Yeah, hi, I was looking on an abandoned house for him and I couldn't get through the locks.
Yeah.
Then they just started.
So they didn't lock you up, but you haven't moved in yet? You're considering it?
No, I'm not a resident yet. I'm still looking. I'm still on the market.
Okay, so the abandoned mental hospital with fecal matter all over the walls wasn't appealing enough.
Well, it's not that it was not appealing enough, it's just that I couldn't get inside.
Oh, okay. You would, in a heartbeat, if it was...
Yeah, I'm that desperate that I'll go anywhere.
Alright, well, email the Salmon Basketball Podcast at salmonbasketballpod@gmail.com if you know a place in South Australia
Or if you want a roommate.
Yeah, that Matt Z could squat, that Steve could squat in. He needs a place.
And Matt Z's happy to share a bed regardless of gender or age.
No.
As he said, he wouldn't mind getting a little bit of action prison, so... what is it? Grass, ass, or...
Grass on the pitch, you can play a ball.
I didn't mean that. I meant the hitchhiker rules. The ass, grass, or... Oh, no. Gas, grass, or ass. Yeah. So that's what he'll do for rent. He'll suck your dick. Next segment! So, basically, I thought it would be interesting this episode, just have a bit more order if all three of us brought in a news story they'd like to discuss. Mm-hmm. Do you seen anything good on the news this week, Matty Z?
I did hear that Elon Musk stepped down from Tesla.
Yes.
And he had to pay a fine of $20 million.
Yeah, that was crazy because basically he made a tweet saying that his company was going to go private or something, but that was not discussed with his board of committee members, so it was actually fraud to lie to your shareholders like that, who I am actually a proud shareholder of Tesla, and that fucked my share price.
Yes!
No,
but I still haven't lost any money. I was up like 19% and I was close to selling, and then they dived. But they're not as low as when I bought them, so I'm still,
Well, the problem with the quote he gave is not that he just gave the quote, it's that he said the share price is worth $4.20, which was Turn Press's girlfriend. It had
That
nothing.
dude, that was
it
not.
had nothing to do with the share
Leave
price.
Grimes out of this. No, anyway, that was not the tweet. The tweet was
Yeah.
the tweet was back in August 7th. He's been investigated since then. That it was about the company going private. That was what I read. The 420 thing was the 420 thing might have been on top of it, but I think he can get away with joking. But I still think it's bullshit. I think he got absolutely rolled.
He's getting destroyed by society for slunking gang weed.
Thank you, Hamish, for that hot take.
How do you think it's unfair if he's making up false accusations to...
Dude, it's fucking
Put up the
Twitter,
share
man.
price.
I honestly think Twitter should be shut down because it's so destructive.
So you're not coming back to Twitter anytime soon?
I actually quit Twitter. I used to have
Yeah.
a Twitter account, and I was just memeing the whole time, but I deleted it because it's connected to your phone number and shit.
Yeah.
And employers can really get onto your Twitter easy. So
Really?
yeah,
Oh, right. Using phone number.
yeah, or email depending. I basically just make a fake email if you're gonna do a Twitter account.
But I find everything on Twitter, I find all the good memes are on Twitter first, and then they branch down to Facebook.
They're on 4chan first.
Oh, on 4chan.
Then
first.
they're on Twitter.
But no one wants to go to 4chan.
Then they're on Reddit. Then they're on 9gag. Then they're on Tumblr. Then they're on Facebook. That's the meme hierarchy, folks. That's official.
So this guy's still looking at cat memes from 2007. He's still catching
So,
up.
what is happening with icanhascheeseburger.com? Is that still a thing?
Have you seen your first Rage comic yet?
Steve?
I don't know what you're talking about.
But you can't catch up with the meme lingo, can you?
Justin Bieber will never get a girlfriend.
Holy shit! That's a blast for the 2009 pass right there.
Epic win. Okay, this one needs to for today.
Back to Elon Musk. Another thing he announced, we were talking about this last time, there was a SpaceX announcement where he's going to do a paid private flight to Mars. And the guest is... Do you guys know who it is, actually? Before I read it?
Is it a Chinese billionaire?
I thought it was Richard Branson.
No, you're both wrong. It was a Japanese billionaire.
I was close.
He's an entrepreneur who
Racist.
He's an entrepreneur who founded his own clothing company called Zozo.
Oh, yeah, I heard this.
And his name is Yuzaku Meizawa, I think. And he's this, short, spunky Japanese guy who really wants to go to Mars. And I think he dropped $1 billion on this project, even though it's even more. It's $25 billion to get to Mars. So
Yeah,
Who
you just
provided
put a
first?
deposit down.
Who actually
Yeah.
got on Mars, will it? Actually be on Mars?
no, they're not going to land
He's
on Mars. They're
flying
going
around.
around it. And the gimmick is he wants to get 6 artists, whether they be
yeah,
musical or painters or whatever. He's scouting for 6 different artists that he can take up with him, and then they're going to go around Mars, and when they come back, they're each going to do a piece about Mars, and that's how they're promoting it, which I think is pretty clever. I like that take on it.
They should get Little Pump.
They totally...
Actually, Taylor Swift
Oh, yeah.
is coming here on the 26th of August to
What do you think, Taylor?
Melbourne.
Yes, who wants to go
But
with him, guys?
Jackson, we need an update. Did anyone send in a request for me to go with him?
Yeah.
The
Jackson.
here's the thing is,
Because I'm really keen, but none of my friends like Taylor Swift.
Well, firstly, not a lot of people listen to this podcast, and secondly, I need to put the email. I said the email before, but check the description for the email if you want to ask us some questions or something, or if you want to join Steve in his trip to see Taylor Swift in Melbourne.
On the 26th of August.
Yeah, so just
Or actually
do
October.
or in the
You
comments
giving away a
section.
free ticket here? Or is
No.
the budget not big enough for that?
Well, it depends. It depends.
Actually, I thought, I'm not going to catch a plane there. It only takes an hour and 20 minutes. Surely I could just hitchhike there.
Just drive.
You're gonna hitchhike to Melbourne to see Taylor Swift.
Well,
You could probably do it, actually.
surely there would be a truck driver going to Melbourne from Adelaide.
What about a bus?
A bus would be too expensive.
Yeah, and obviously there's no truck drivers on buses, idiots. Anyway, so do you think Taylor Swift should go to Mars on this trip?
I don't want her safety to be at risk.
So you're scared that Martians might get her?
Well,
He still thinks he's got a hot chance with her.
What if you snuck aboard that? The Mars trip with Taylor Swift.
I'll definitely consider it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, all the juices float in space.
All right, we're cutting that.
No.
He thought
Anyway, but I think it's a good idea that SpaceX are kind of marketing this Mars expedition as a kind of artsy thing. Like, it gets more people invested because
We're in the future now.
space travel, for some reason, isn't enough to excite people anymore. And I think that's a damn shame.
I think it's a waste of money. What's the point of going to the moon? What did they find out?
Ooh, nerd alert.
What's the point of spending billions of
Actually,
dollars?
colonizing Mars is very beneficial to us because it means that we can outsource a lot of our factories and production to Mars once it's self-sustainable to lessen the carbon footprint on Earth. And also, there's a lot of resources up there. A lot of iron is up on Mars or up in the asteroids and stuff.
Yeah.
We can do endless mining.
Plus, it's human nature to, go and
Want to colonize,
Go and explore, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And we've already explored all of Earth, so it might be a bit of fun. It might actually
Go
give
off Earth.
people some hope and some wonder in this age of nihilism,
Unfortunately, we're born too late to explore the Earth. Born too soon to explore the universe, but just in time to explore memes.
Damn. Yeah, I'm going to cut that. Anyway, have you got a piece of news this week, Matty Z? Steve.
Not really.
Thank you, Hamish.
You mother ducker. Courtney Gibbons has been...
Actually, I got a news story.
Okay.
We cut that. All right.
Oh, no, okay.
Jackson.
Yep.
Have you heard of the senator spending $90 a day on the internet, and the taxpayers are funding it?
Yeah.
What? How many?
Whoa! Which senator is this?
This is a US senator.
U.S. senator. I don't give a fuck.
No. It's because Scott Morrison was talking about it. They were questioning him.
Let me have a look.
But you can't name the senator.
Don't worry, boys.
Jamie, bring that up.
Okay,
Bring up the
there
name
she
of that
is, yeah.
senator.
Assistant Treasurer Stuart Roberts slugging taxpayers $2,800 per month for home internet.
I don't know his name. What's his name?
His name is Stuart Robert. He's
Stuart
Assistant
Robert.
Treasurer.
Right, Jackson. Have you heard of Stuart Robert spending $90? Is he Liberal or Labor?
He's liberal.
Liberal, yeah, because he's assistant treasurer to the government, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Jackson, have you heard of the Liberal Senator spending $90 a day on their internet?
No, I haven't.
And taxpayers are funding it.
$90 a day on the internet. Can you go into specifics? Is this for his home use?
Yeah, home use. I don't know how much you would need to download and spend. You can get a plan for $90 a month.
I spend less than $90 a month for unlimited ADSL 2+, which isn't the fastest, but it's... I can tour in a movie in an hour. I'm doing all right.
$300 a month for his internet bills. His home on Queensland's Gold Coast.
Dude, this is what happens when you have dumb boomers in Parliament. They don't fucking know anything about technology, so they use taxpayers' money to pay for the biggest Telstra home bundle or whatever.
What do you think he's downloading, Jackson?
Probably child pornography. Alright, so here's my story this week. There was a farmer in Michigan, right? And he found out that this rock that he was using as a doorstop for about 20 years turned out to be a meteorite, which he was given to the homeowner before him. It landed on Earth in the 30s. He'd been using it as a doorstop. It was worth $140,000 because it was mostly, it was 10 kilograms of basically mostly iron and a bit of nickel in it as well. What do you think about that?
How did he find out it was worth so much?
I think someone from a university came and inspected it or something. I mean, yeah.
I mean, they've got a pretty specific look about them.
Yeah, it looks pretty odd. If you look at it, it looks valuable. So I think he was just never really noticed, and then maybe one of his friends just said, what is this? And then, a week later, it's at some university in a glass case, and they're going, yes, well, this was found in the 1930s. And it sold for $140,000 for a doorstop. What do you think of that, Maisie?
He's pretty lucky. Have you ever stumbled across anything valuable, Jackson?
Yeah, so I was with my metal detector at the beach, and I found this, piece of corrugated iron, and I cut myself, and then a week later I had tetanus, and anyway, we can cut all this. No, I haven't.
I've actually found a few phones.
Yeah.
Phones?
Yeah.
Mobile phones?
Yeah.
Where?
One I can distinctly remember was when I was quite young.
Close to the mic.
When I was quite young, I was at the soccer pitch or something, and it was like a big group of soccer pitches. Anyway, I was just like walking around, and I came across this Sony Ericsson phone, which was like fucking really good, like back in 2007 or 2008.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
Anyway, I kept it. Didn't tell anyone about it. Kept it in
So
my
you
room.
stole it.
I didn't stole it. It was on the fucking ground.
It's still stealing. You should have given it
Well,
in.
no, it was in the middle of a fucking empty soccer pitch. I don't know what.
So if you so you were able to unlock it, it didn't have a password.
Yeah, so it was all open. So I went home, basically put it in like a little case, and it kept going off, and it kept saying, "Hey, Mum, hope you're okay. I haven't heard from you for a while or whatever."
Wait, so people were calling you, and
Yeah.
you didn't say.
I was just like, "Fuck you guys, I'm playing Snake."
How old were you when you stole this phone?
It wasn't stolen. I just found it.
Well,
How old were you?
Oh, I was probably like 7 or 8.
So you were, you just didn't understand the implications
No.
of the.
So I eventually took it to my school, and then I gave it to some Indian guy. His dad's like a telemarketer.
Did you sell it?
No, I just said, "Oh, check this out. I found this phone." So we started going through it, and then eventually, I don't know what happened. We got caught with it, and then we was like, "Oh, I swear." And then
What? You didn't go into more detail. So you got caught by who?
caught by one of the teachers about I don't know, just like looking at it, because I was like a 7-year-old or 8-year-old kid with a fucking really nice phone.
Yeah.
Like it was crappy now, but obviously it was good back in the day. And then he just took it, and then apparently he was like, "Oh, I explained myself. I found it, and know what to do with it, etc." And then I think they just called like the number in the phone or whatever that had been calling. It was like, "Oh yeah, it's my mum. She's from the Gold Coast. Yeah, she's." And then they just put it back, and that was the end of the story.
Okay, so it had a happy ending.
And I break the high score of Snake.
Nice. So she got it back, and she was like, "Thank God! What the fuck?" And now she has this unbeatable Snake high score, and she's probably wishing that it never got returned.
Well, it wasn't Snake. I can't remember what the game was. It was some 3D mumbo jumbo.
Have you ever found anything got rich quick, Steve?
Well, I've tried to get rich quick many a times,
He's tried every quick rich
but
scheme.
I haven't stumbled upon any successful ideas.
Let's hear some of them. Let's hear 3 of your attempts at get rich quick schemes.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Cider making, which we learned last week.
We were talking about that. Okay, but we know that didn't that didn't go
That
well.
didn't eventually
Did you
came
sell
to be.
one? Did you sell even one bottle of cider?
Well, I think kind of might have, but I never saw any of the profits.
I think it wasn't so much as a money profit, it was more like a respect kind of thing. Here's a bottle, you know.
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, you're part of my family. You take a cider." That's
They
on
were,
the
they
house.
were so bad that I ended up just giving Connor all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was terrible.
So what are the other 2? I know once you told me over drinks that you wanted to start growing tobacco in your backyard. you found a patch of land. You wanted to start growing tobacco, and I was like actually keen to start doing this, but then I found out it's actually illegal
Yeah.
and punishable by prison time.
Punishable by death.
Well, no, my granny has a farm. We're gonna do it there.
Yeah.
So I'm not too sure if my granny would have approved.
Just grow
Why?
up.
Just give us some free dip.
As if she'd notice. How big's the farm?
Oh, it's not a massive farm, but it's probably about 50 acres.
Okay, that's plenty of land. That's
That's
plenty of
plenty.
land. Here is the thing. For kids at home, if you want to grow tobacco and hide it from your grandparents, basically, firstly, you plant a big crop of marijuana, and then you put the tobacco on the other side of the property. So they see the marijuana, they're like, "What the fuck? Holy shit, you're going to get us in trouble with the cops?" Because marijuana is illegal to grow in large quantities here. So they're going to freak out, and they're like, "Holy fucking shit." So you're like, "Okay, I'll get rid of the marijuana. And then the tobacco is like nothing.
I mean, do they even tend to the crops?
No, my granny's just got a few cows and a bull and a few chickens.
Do they just sort of take care of themselves?
Yeah, and there was a horse there, but that was put down.
Put down old yellow style.
They just shoved the needle into it, and then it just fell on the ground.
That's a nice story. So
Can you tell it again?
now Steve kind of wanted to make this podcast a bit more fun, you know. And last week we played a bit of Have You Been Paying Attention? But the problem with that is that's already a TV show here in Australia, and
So it would have copyright.
I had some
infringement.
lawyers kind of knocking on my door saying, listen, buddy, you better cut that Have You Been Paying Attention segment because that's kind of our thing. So I propositioned to Steve to come out with a new copyright-free game for the podcast. Have you got anything, Steve?
Well, I did try to break the world record of drinking a cup of water. And
Yes!
I got very close, but I'm not too sure if the listeners would be intrigued by that.
What is the world record for drinking a cup of water? What's the time for that?
Oh, I think it was maybe 3 seconds.
Yeah.
But I can't remember. It was a while ago.
How do you get it so?
So that's a standard cup. That's what, 320 milliliters.
The fastest time to drink 500 mils of water is 1.75 seconds.
Oh.
Achieved by Tim Cocker during the XFM breakfast show in London.
7.5 seconds, and that was on a radio show.
No, he said 1 point.
1.75 seconds.
Oh,
500
1.75.
mils of water. That's half a liter.
Now that is cracking good radio. If we could get you to do that, then we could beat London XFM.
And then it would have some publicity. We
Yeah,
might even
exactly.
get on news.com article.
But
Ah.
you wanted to start your own.
Aim
world
higher
record.
than that, mate.
Most Tim Tams eaten in.
He actually, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
or
you've got
something.
your own record idea.
Yeah, you try. You reckon you hold it?
Well,
Most Tim
we
Tams
sent the
eaten.
record off to Guinness World Record, but they said we're not doing the Tim Tam record because we already got a record for number of dry biscuits.
Yeah, but try that's not Chalky Vickies. Do they even know what Tim Tams are? Tim Tams are the Australia's best biscuit, basically.
But
Guinness.
Maybe we should have this segment. Get Steve a girlfriend.
It's time to play Get Steve a Girlfriend. So, what do we? How do we do this?
So we haven't got Eloise here to abuse you. So
Yeah.
run of the mill about what you want to say about women.
Yeah, it's time. It's
We're not gonna
time to
judge.
discuss the menace of females.
Women need to be fucked in all three holes. Once they get accustomed to our stiffies and their whiffies, we'll all benefit from this whole experience.
What?
Have you ever seen Pornhub comments on stock photos?
No.
We're not
that's
putting
fucking
this. in
God,
the
I wish that
podcast.
were me. Okay, and this is time. Okay, so we couldn't. Ah, fuck.
Are we
this.
going to go with the segment?
No, fucking
Alright.
cut this. Okay.
Alright, so Hamish, how did you... We need some tips from
How
the...
do I get a girlfriend? That's a good question. Just basically,
Just be yourself, LMAO. I'm gonna go get some water.
should I have a one-on-one with Steve while you?
Yeah,
run,
you
or-
go. You guys
Alright.
just talk about it. Have a game plan. I need some water.
Alright. So basically, like, the first thing I did was when I got girlfriend. The only thing I had to do was Jackson Grant. What a fucking nerd. Am I right? Am I right?
Yeah, Jackson and I just left.
Alright. So how I got a girlfriend was basically just thought, what do I want from a girl?
And what's that?
I want someone who is very sweet and kind and makes me good, knows how to cook, is important, and is nice and thick and sexy.
Got a Foodland discount?
Got a Foodland discount, doesn't hurt. And I thought, alright, well, who can I pick? There was a few, but I ended up going with good friend I've had from high school. Thought, that would be pretty easy, just like,
Hello there, son.
That was pretty quick, Jackson.
It's me. I'm a nut, Jackson. I'm Pimp Daddy Fun Boy, and I'm here to get my boy Steve a girlfriend.
No, we're cutting this.
He just fell over.
Terrible.
He just had a brain aneurysm.
Listen here, boy.
Alright, we'll cut this.
If
Just
you want
go
a
on to the
girlfriend, you're
fears.
gonna have to pay for it. All right. I'm gonna
Actually-
need see some paper. So I have I wanted to discuss something today, and I thought I'm a big fan of Joe Rogan, as you know. I watch a lot of Fear Factor, and that was just got me inspired. I was just wondering, what are your guys' biggest fears?
Well, I'm scared of injections.
How come?
Well, I think it was in year 1. There was this kid who... the whole class was going to get an injection.
Yep.
And this kid hid under this table saying, I don't want the injection. And then from then on...
Wait, that wasn't you?
No, I think...
That kid's name, Albert Einstein.
From then on,
Wait, was it Franklin?
no. From then on, I just being petrified of injections.
What,
And
because someone hid under a table?
well, I don't know. That's just the first memories of
Oh my god.
linking back to the fear.
What, when you were like an infant getting your like injections?
Well, I mean, he does have autism, so he has natural
Jackson,
fear of
we're not saying that,
injections, vaccinations.
No, well,
He doesn't want to get it any worse.
What about when we all had to have our HPV
Yeah.
vaccines in grade 9? What did you do then?
So they don't give girls cervical cancer.
well, I'm not proud to say this, but I ran out of the injections. The room.
Was this before or after you got the injection?
No, I didn't get it. I sat on the chair and I said, "Can you put me to sleep? I'm too scared."
Yeah.
And she said,
You don't have to ask me twice.
she said to her assistant, "Oh, we don't have to deal with this. Just write a note and they can go to the doctor and get it."
Yeah.
And they just said, "Get out." So then
I'll take my shit.
So and then apparently I think my mum got a letter. It said if your kid doesn't get this injection, they won't get any child benefits.
Oh.
So and then my mum got,
Right, yeah.
she got really annoyed. She
Is
said,
she on child benefits?
no, every child gets the money.
Yeah.
I mean, parent. So anyway, she said, all right, you have to go to get the injection and your gran will be with you holding your hand to get it. I said, oh, I'm not getting it. She said, you have to get it or there'll be big trouble.
I need me Sano. Go get the fucking injection.
Big trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what your mum said?
Yeah.
Oh, right, I was going to say what the fuck.
So my gran was there with me and my mum, and my gran was holding my hand, and they did the injection,
Did it hurt?
and they gave me a lollipop afterwards, and I felt a little bit like a little kid. A little bit embarrassed,
Well,
because
that
I
is
was
like
about 15.
This man has a full pubes and he's holding his grandma's hand.
Yeah, so, and then, I don't think I've got injections since.
Okay. Understandable.
I'm not too sure what I'm going to do if I have to go to hospital for some reason and get an injection, because I would seriously run out of there.
You could just grow a sack. Anyway, are you going to ask me what my biggest fear is?
Oh, what's your biggest fear, Jackson?
Well, funny you should ask. This one's a bit embarrassing too. But mine is actually getting locked in the toilet.
That's not a fear.
It is a fear, and it's
Why
a
is that?
legitimate thing. Well, the thing about being locked in the toilet is I'm a little bit claustrophobic. I used to be very claustrophobic, but the thing is, I think getting trapped anywhere is a little bit of a fear of mine. I used to be scared of elevators as well. I kind of got over that.
Yeah.
But the thing about the toilet is I still get anxious because it's the toilet. It's kind of embarrassing on top of menacing when you're like trapped in a space, but it's also the toilet. And it has happened to me before.
This is the guy who projectile bombed.
So how long were you trapped in the toilet for?
So this was when I was 11. I was up in the Flinders Ranges with my uncle, and we were just doing like a week of hiking. And we were going pretty far north outside of your typical Wilpena Pound commercial tourism area, you know. We were going pretty far north into the bloody, you know, one of these regions. Anyway, so we were going out for a day walk. It was going to be quite a few hours. And I went and grabbed the shovel, and my uncle said, "No need, they have a toilet here." And I was like, unbelievable. I hadn't seen running water in a week, and all of a sudden we've got this, like, it's not even a pit toilet, it's a proper toilet. So I just race in there. I'm not going to go into details, but it was, might have been the best shit of my life. But then I get up, I'm just so relieved. I'm just so relieved, ready to go for a hike. And then I go up to the door and go, nothing. It won't budge. And it's a really old wooden door, and it's like changed shape as well. Because you get really shitty weather. You get really cold nights, really hot days, and this fucking door was like warped. The lock was stuck, and I was like, oh shit. And I'm like pulling, and I'm like a 11-year-old kid who probably has iron deficiency, and I'm just trying to like yank this fucking door open, and it just wasn't budging. And I was like, it was terrifying because I could scream for help, But A, the South Australian Tourism Board hasn't been promoting Flinders Ranges as much, so no one's like at the camping site. But also, that's embarrassing because you're in the toilet, like, you know. So I was there for like 20 minutes, like doing a Larry David, just like pacing back and forth, like, oh, what am I gonna do? And then I just kept pushing the door, kept pushing, and then I finally got out. And then I catch up with my uncle who's already on the walking trail, and he's just looking at me, he's like, "You got trapped in the toilet, didn't you?" And I did. And to this day, when the door starts getting sticky at a bathroom, I'm just like, could this be it? Could this be the end? But, you know, I think that's perfect rational fear, you know? What do you think about that, Steve?
I'm not too sure if I believe the story.
That's actually a true story.
How would the door just suddenly open?
I fucking kept pushing on it. It was like jammed, and I was just making gradual progress. And I was weak as well, and I didn't want to like fucking... I was kind of nervous because I didn't want to buck through it and have it like swing open and have me fall in the fucking dirt as well. So, yeah, it was a gradual process and I finally got it open. But, yeah. And I was like climbing up. I was standing on the toilet too and peering over and just seeing if there was anyone there and like kicking on it and stuff.
Didn't it have a roof over it?
I did have a roof over it, but it had like a little gap, so I couldn't quite
like
fit.
A window?
Yeah, so I could look through, but I couldn't crawl through.
Could you see anyone?
I actually think I saw some like boomer lady, but I didn't.
Why didn't you just call out?
I wasn't ready to call for help. I said it was kind of embarrassing. I'm like, I can do this by myself.
How long were you in there at that
I think it was 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes.
So you're in the toilet for 15 minutes, but you couldn't face up.
And I hadn't discovered masturbation yet, so I was so bored. I was so bored. So Havish, what's your biggest fear?
I'm not afraid of shit. Except snakes. No one's saying that.
Indiana Jones?
Are you really scared of snakes? Or is that just... Are you just making that up for the podcast?
I love snakes. Fuck, I don't know. Global warming. Yeah.
But is global warming true? Is it just a myth made up by some scientists?
Why? So are you one of those people who think that China made up global warming to try and slow down the American economy?
Probably.
Well,
look at him.
There's more polar bears than ever in the
Oh,
world.
wow. Whoop-de fucking do. Big statistic right there.
Yeah, it doesn't mean the ice caps aren't melting. There's plenty of space for them to roam still, but the ice is still melting. It doesn't... Because the climate hasn't got quite as harsh to, start killing them, but so they're still allowed to breathe. That doesn't mean their habitat isn't dying, fucking melting away.
That's a very worldly fear. Probably like a more specific one would probably be like spiders or something.
Are you actually arachnophobic?
Nah, I wouldn't say that far, but they kind of creep me out a bit.
Sure. Do you actually have a fear though? A legitimate one that could maybe be put into a 10-minute sound bite?
I mean, the thing is, living in Australia, you deal with fucking all kinds of animals in your room.
Yeah, in your room.
Well, yeah.
Name one.
I've dealt with big moths.
Big moths.
Spiders. Lizards in the backyard. I think there's even been a snake in the backyard once. I don't know. Lots of rats and mice, stuff like that.
Yeah, mice creep me out.
Because I keep leaving shit on the floor.
Are you scared of dying? Because, like,
scared of dying.
I think, how am I going to die? How am I going to leave this earth?
Don't overdose when you're 30 or something. Oh, wait, sorry, that's Nick.
Doesn't that ever come to mind when you're just lying in bed late at night thinking, how's my life going to end?
Yeah,
Does that happen to you?
I think of death, but I don't have existential dread anymore because I turned 18, so I basically have come to the acceptance
once
that
you make it past like 19, 20, you're pretty much like
if you come to terms with your death, it's like do you still get that panicky feeling when you think about death, Mason?
I'm not too sure.
He just doesn't want to die without kissing a girl.
Yeah, that's reasonable fear.
Am I on the right track there?
Not really.
Okay.
No. I don't know. Let's just cut that.
Okay, just to set this next part up, basically Steve wants to be a DJ now, so he brought in his mixtape or his demo DJing set, and he played it for us as well as Hamish's brother who was in the room. So I've left a snippet of it in for you to listen to for entertainment purposes, but the full mixtape is in the description. Enjoy.
I didn't need to record every...
This is live. You're listening to the Salmon Basketball Podcast on SAFM. Did you speed this up?
Yeah.
Oh yes!
that was awesome.
That was epic, man.
Alright.
Alright, bring up the next component. I'll see if I can play a set for old people.
Okay, so that was your world premiere of your mixtape.
Whoa.
So what's your pseudonym again?
Alright, what are we
DJ
looking
Ridley.
DJ Rudley.
Wait, what was the original name?
Let's call up nursing
DJ
home
fucks
emergency
and
number.
suck. I think.
Elder Care Trowbridge House.
Oh, it is.
Give him the
You gotta admit it's Rudley.
Kensington Aged Care Facility.
So they want to book up a DJ for old people.
DJ Ridley.
Good evening, the Lexington Town speaking.
Hi, this is Sneeds Feed and Seed. I was wondering if I could book up. That was too funny. That was too funny.
Holy fuck.
Sneeds, feed, and seed.
That was terrible, Hamish.
You've reached the voicemail of King Invest. You've contacted us outside of normal work hours.
Fuck you!
South Australian public holiday. Please leave a message and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Ah, fuck you!
Yeah, hi, this is
Ah, fuck you!
Alright.
What are you talking about?
Just say listen to it.
Fucking pick up whore.
Hello, good evening, Mitchell Residential, Diana speaking.
Yeah, hi, this is Sneeds Elderly Care Entertainment. We're just wondering, were you looking for any DJs that could perform for you guys?
Sorry, a
Well-
DJ.
Any DJs that could perform for your residents?
Okay, I'm not pretty sure about that one. Much better to speak to our lifestyle coordinator.
I'll just play my mix.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, much better to ring tomorrow.
Oh, okay, yep.
Yeah, sorry.
I can't.
So, yeah, what do you want to talk about now?
Actually, I've been thinking during the week, what is a good time to go to sleep at night?
Yeah, we're not doing this.
Actually, I want to...
You want to talk about sleep hygiene?
What the...
Actually, I asked
Alright, what's the best time to go to sleep?
well, I asked my Romanian friend, which I met on chess.com, and he said he goes to bed at 1 a.m, but I think that's a bit too late.
And
Every night, consistently.
this is great. Matthew has a Romanian
Yeah, it's good.
e-friend who he met on chess.com.
And I message him with every one of my problems. If I have any sort of problem, he'll be the first one I go to.
Why don't you message me?
Because
24/7.
I know you, and you can tell people, but Rares from Romania, he doesn't know any of my friends or family. He can't.
Yeah, he has no vested
He
interest.
can't gossip.
Especially when it's something gold, like, I don't want to be alone.
And there's been plenty of times where you say to a friend, "Oh, keep this to yourself," and then by the end of the day, everyone knows. So yeah.
Yeah, it's getting boring. Anyway, you have been listening to the Salmon Basketball Podcast. This was episode 2. I think it went all right. What do you think, Steve?
I think there has a few improvements that can be made. Maybe we should ask the listeners to give suggestions.
Yeah, in the comments below, give suggestions so we're not quite a ship without a captain, because the audience is the captain of this ship, we believe. Anyway, it's been good. Please like. We're on YouTube and SoundCloud at the moment. Links in description for all that. Email us at salmonbasketballpod@gmail.com if you've got any questions. Leave a comment, very helpful. We might be on iTunes soon, depending on how this goes, how many more we record. But before we go, we have to do... What do we have to do,
We have
Steve?
to find Clara.
We have to call Clara.
You ready?
Let's do it.
I'm calling a random number and hoping that there's Clara.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to this person.
Yeah, hi. I was just wondering, Is this Clara?
No, this is sorry.
Ah, shit. You sure you don't have a Clara that lives with you?
No, I don't. Sorry.
Oh, that's alright.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Sorry, got wrong number.
Alright, see you, dude. Stay baked.
The hunt continues next time on the Salmon Basketball Podcast. Oh my god.
On the stage, I drew me shorts, I drew me top.